ब्रह्मचर्यव्रती दण्डी सर्ववेदान्तपण्डित श्रीमद्विवेकयोगी मां प्रचोदयतु सर्वदा. When the Madras office people said that this time Kendrapatriya will be on Yatras, I was wondering what I am going to write about Yatra. One thought which came was Bharat Parikrama, but details are all forgotten and all the records are lost from my hand. So I thought of writing about some other yatra. Then suddenly a flash came into mind. Why don't we write about Dheya Marganu Yatra? There is yatra there. There is one Dheya Marganu Yatra. What differentiated Bharat from the rest of the world was this particular thing. There, everyone is supposed to follow a path ordained for him or her. We have to discover that. For which yatra I am ordained? How do I get along that yatra? You know, Bharat is probably the only country which has made such extensive use of yatras. Actually, in this huge country, how did people keep in touch with each other? How did they get to know each other? Get to know the habits and other aspirations and behavior and religion and acharas of different parts of the country. In good old days, there was no other means but only through the yatras which they did. From south they went to the north, Tirthasthans were there, people went there. On the way, as they were going by foot, they came across different types of people, their types of food habits, behavior, religious aspirations, spiritual inclinations, so on and so forth. And then slowly they found that unity in diversity. Because even earlier to this, our great people like even other yugas, Treta Yuga or Dwapara Yuga, great religious principles have been established by the Avatara Purushas and great teachers. So they were there in different parts of the country, only small variations in achara must have been there. So people got an impression of the oneness of the country, the uniqueness of the culture, the oneness of the culture. And that is how India has remained, in spite of all the variations, the unity in diversity which they have maintained. That is something fantastic. I don't think any other country can claim this variations at the same time underlying unity. There is a deeply inherent unity. And that unity is each one born in this country had a special goal to achieve, and that goal to achieve is called God realization or moksha, and that was the prime goal before every human being there, be it a man or woman. And every effort was made to bring into focus this idea, maybe through Vedas and Upanishads, then various types of Puranas, various types of art, architecture, dance forms, drama forms, through everything. I remember some time back, some foreign children asked me, what is this unique flavor of India, which no other country can claim? That unique flavor of this oneness. Then they thought, like in their country, it is preserved somewhere. So they asked me, in which ashrama, which institution, in which teacher do you keep all this? I said, you travel in India, you will find this spread in everywhere through art and architecture and dance and dramas and teachers and ashramas. Everywhere you find this effort to keep this unique oneness. Vivekananda Swami condenses it beautifully. Each goal is Each soul is potentially divine. The goal in life is to manifest that divinity by controlling nature, external and internal. Do it by work or worship, psychic control or philosophy, one or more or all of them, and be free. So that was the broad canvas. There was a broad canvas. It is not that you go through only this way. You go through the work. Okay, you will reach there sometime or other. Maybe the way may be a little longer. You go through bhakti, very quick, very happy. You go through the Raja Yoga, yogi's path, wonderful it is. You will get all sorts of siddhis and whatnot. And then you can go through the final ascent. I call it as the ascend to the Everest. It is Jnana Yoga. So all of them, irrespective of the variations in their cultural or behavioral aspects, goal in front of them was the same. And that was the Dheya Marga. You have to think by which way you have to go. Even in the same house, you may find a Raja Yogi, you may find a Karma Yogi, you may find a Bhakti Yogi, it doesn't matter at all. But their ultimate goal is the same yoga, the moksha. So this Dheya Marganu Yatra, this was something which is unique. But unfortunately, when Swami Vivekananda was wandering through the country before his departure to the United States, he was seeking a solution, what is a mother's work which Guru has entrusted to me? He could not get it anything specific. But one thing he found, this Dheya Marganu Yatra is no more there in the country. People have become wanderers. They may go through this way, it may be Western culture, it may be Dutch culture, French culture, English culture, American culture. They had forgotten about Indian culture. So that must have pained Swamiji like anything. And he writes in his letter to Alasinga Perumal, I want 100,000 men and women, not one or two, because the country is so huge, so vast, so varied, So one person here and there cannot do anything. This bringing back people to their Rajapath, this Dheya Marga, I have to give them a very broad outline. All they will have is a faith in the God, but they will go about the country preaching the gospel of salvation, the gospel of social raising up. Such wonderful words of Swamiji,